Okay, I think we are back. That was the ref whistle calling skaters back to their benches. Looks like we're gonna do one last equipment check after the half. Make sure everybody's got their mouth guards and wrist guards and all that good protective gear on.
We have heard that there are some of you out there who found our secret boutcast. Again, congratulations. You've won the prizes. You get to watch this. Just a couple of reminders. If you are just coming in, tuning into this boutcast now, if word is starting to get out, this is a DVR setup. So you can actually start the game from the beginning and you won't miss anything. It'll just carry on right through, pretend you're watching it live. Also, you can jump up to a higher resolution feed as well. So you can follow the instructions to do that. Hopefully this is just a sign of things to come for TORD TV this season. We've got a lot of big plans, and it seems to be working out. A little bit of an update at halftime from that. Our leading scorer at half is actually Hyena Coffin Cat, one of our rookies. Picked up 35 points for the Chicks. All on the power of 2 jams, though. She had a 20-pointer and a 15-pointer that accounted for all of those points. Leading the way for the Gores is Tyrannosaurus Rex with 29 points, which includes that 20-point power jam that she managed. Right behind her, though, is Lexicon with 28. They were the 2 leading scorers last year.
Yep.
Rookies doing a lot for the Chicks. 34 points for Sneaky D on the power of 1 25-point jam as well. All right, we're ready to get underway here in the second half. 4-3 pack advantage for the Gores. Lexicon in the leopard print, number 25, against that leading scorer, Hyena Coffin Cat, for the Chicks. Lexi inside, Hyena outside, Chronic hitting her in, and now Santa Muerta going one-on-one. The back of the pack, and that allows Lexicon to get through Robert Blind and Tess Derby both at the front. She's your lead jammer. First blood in the second half goes to the Gores.
Oh, and they're working hard for it.
Hyena Coffin Cat trying to power her way through Chronic and not having any luck on that inside. Now Beaver Mansbridge back to help out. And Lexicon, as we're talking, gets through, pushes past Robert Blind on the second straightaway for 5 points on the natural Grand Slam.
Huge hit by Santa Muerta. Chicks still yet to break out of this pack.
Hyena Coffin Cat went for an apex jump, but the veteran Candy Bar was having none of that and put her to the track on the inside. And Lexi makes another few nice moves past Rebel Rocket on the first straightaway for another 5-point pickup. The Gores really getting things off to a big start here in the second half. Oh, and Santa Muerta with a big hip check on Hyena Coffin Cat, knocking her to the track. The rookie transfer from Terminal City getting her licks in tonight. Welcome to TORD, says Santa Muerta.
This pack is pretty stretched out. I'm not sure that the refs really defined where that is. Oh, and Hyena has a track cut major. She is going to the penalty box.
Oh, and that frustration setting in. She tried to sneak through on the second pass on the inside, and her skate went out. She is in the penalty box. This has turned into a power jam, and Lexicon makes a nice little move with the help of Santa Muerta around Tess Derby. While the back of the pack comes in to face Rebel Rocket, who gets knocked to the inside. Rebel doing a good job of holding that inside line. One-on-one Tess Derbyville going at the back of the pack against Lexicon. Lexicon can't get by her. Nice defense from the veteran, forcing the call off. This will carry over into a power start then for the Gores. Nice job from the veteran Chicks pack to hold off Lexicon there. But boy, she scored a lot of points. 10 points on the, or 15 points on the board. 106-82 now is the lead.
Chicks, despite having the bench advantage closest to this line, they seem to be taking the front.
Yeah, they don't mind it out there, maybe.
Maybe.
Something's working for them.
Maybe there's some control.
Oh, Lumberjack Flash looked like she had that outside line, but Bigley Smalls with a big hit. Tried to drag her all the way back, and it looked like Tess Derbyville did sneak back and is going to pull her back. Lumberjack Flash having to re-enter way behind. Nice job to kill time on this power jam. Time is not on their side.
Chicks doing a great job pairing up, trying to stay together and keep this jammer back.
Hoff doing a nice job holding the inside now. Bigley Smalls going one-on-one and can only hold her for so long. Lead jammer finally, but the penalty has been killed. Hyena Coffin Cat back on the track.
And back in the penalty box. She stood up while in bounds. Unfortunately,
Ouch.
calling a cut.
So Hyena Coffin Cat on the track. So power jams back to back now for the Gores. And this is not after the Chicks made such a push at the end of that first half to get within 9 points, now running into trouble. But Hoff doing a nice job on this power kill, working well with Robert Blind and Bigley Smalls, the experienced Chicks Ahoy's lineup. Can only hold it for so long. Hoff comes in for a big hit. LBF, Lumberjack Flash, shakes that off. Picks up her 5 and is coming around for another scoring pass on a dead pack on the second straightaway. Machu Picchu goes in for a sweep. Nice front pack defense from the Chicks, keeping it going. Hoff again doing well to hold that inside, forcing the call off from Lumberjack. It's hard to shorten her name.
Yeah. Flash?
Yeah, a Flash. There we go.
Let's just do Flash.
That's a good one. Only 5 points. 7 points for Flash on that one. 113-82. Gore RollerGirls building back that 20-point lead, 20-plus point lead now. It looks like an official review being called, perhaps from the Chicks bench. Any idea what you think that would be? I didn't. Maybe on the second penalty.
Perhaps. Maybe their vantage point was such that they didn't feel she deserved that that penalty. But I think it looks like it's being explained, and Robert seems to be agreeing with that.
The blocker penalty box is empty. Hyena Coffin Cat serving her second of back-to-back penalties, though, right now. For the Chicks, it's going to be 4-on-4 in the pack for Guardian Pangel, another one of our rookie transfers, rookie with an asterisk. She did complete her fresh meat training in Terminal City in Vancouver. Another one of the big leagues in Canadian roller derby. And this will be her first jam in TORD. She is talking to Candy Bar, the pivot, longtime veteran. She's been in derby so long, she's been in derby longer than TORD has existed, Candy Bar.
It's true. Longer than me, even.
Yes, longer than Monichrome. You can hear the crowd, and you're seeing the crowd in your monitor. It's a full house, as we said, at the bunker. Phenomenal atmosphere here for the 2014 season opener, the 8th season of Toronto Roller Derby history. One of the oldest, part of the first wave of Canadian roller derby back in 2006. Opened the doors to the public in 2007, along with Hammer City, Montreal, and Oil City, and Ottawa, and Edmonton.
And as you said, Candy Bar was at the forefront of that as the proprietor of Rollerbug.
That's right.
And now Cardinal Skate Shop.
All right, we're underway now. Power start for the Gores. Guardian Pangel pushing into that back wall, able to split it nicely. Joss Whelan trying to hold her back. Rosemary's Rabies comes in for support, but they cannot keep her. Lead jammer to Guardian Pangel. And let's see what she can do in the power jam. M Rage being held back nicely by Candy Bar now. Oh, a collision at the back of the pack between the Chicks blockers and the jammer. Bodies flying all over the place. Gamma Ray went down hard. M Rage heading to the penalty box. Hyena Coffin Cat, after all of that, is back on the track. Pangel picks up 5 for the Gores. Bench telling her to call it off. Pangel, does she do it in time? I don't think so. I think there's going to be a couple points. All four.
All four.
Nice job.
Nice steal by Coffin Cat.
So 5-4 will be the score on that jam. Nice pickup for the Chicks' leading scorer, the rookie transfer. Chicks, they're running into some penalty troubles. Bigley Smalls and Robert Blind are the lone 2 blockers on the track, and Bigley Smalls is sitting on 4 penalties. Robert Blind sitting on 3. So they're going to have to watch it. Those are 2 key cogs in this Chicks Ahoy machine. On the Gores, we do have some penalty troubles as well. Machu Picchu has 4 penalties and Santa Muerte has 3, so a lot of the key blockers for both teams in penalty trouble. Sneaky D's going to be back on the line for the Chicks Ahoy when this timeout ends. The Chicks are down to 1 timeout remaining. The Gore RollerGirls have yet to use one, and the Chicks Ahoy have already used their official review this half as well, so trying to reel this game in early in the second half has cost them a lot of their timeouts and reviews.
Well, you use them when you need them.
That's right.
Hopefully they won't need one at the end of the bout.
So the Gore's jammer is starting in the penalty box. I didn't see what happened at the end of that jam.
Oh, but that was a timeout well spent.
Yeah. So a power jam then for the speedy Sneaky D. She had 34 first half points, including a 25-point power jam. And it looks like Bigley and Robber are going to let her go, but Santa Muerta knocks her to the outside, forcing Sneaky D to come in the back of the pack. All 4 Gores on the track.
And she did get a penalty for that. I believe she was holding and using her own players to keep herself up.
Sneaky D does pick up the lead jammer. Santa Muerta heads to the penalty box. So Chicks now once again trying to claw their way out of a hole, but a big opportunity here. Oh, and a nice inside-out deke from Sneaky D to split up that wall and allow her to get through. Miss Kigler de Purr out there on the track on this penalty kill. She spent a lot of the time last season on the injured reserve list. It's great to see her back. Lays a hit into Sneaky D, takes her down to her knees. Bigley Smalls tried to breaking up this wall now, and it's allowing Sneaky D to get through. Take one on Machu Picchu 101, 5 more points for the Chicks.
Bigley and Robber showing their experience here and telling her to call it, and she does. Scooped up another 4 points.
Nice job from Sneaky D, 99 now. 122.99. 13 points picked up for Sneaky D to get the Chicks back within reach. 7 minutes into the second half.
But Chevy Chaser jamming for the Chicks Ahoy.
Lexicon.
And Lexicon taking a very low profile, making it hard for me to see who she is.
4 3-pack advantage for the Chicks. They are holding Lexi at the back, and that's going to allow Chevy Chaser to get up to the front and try and work through this wall.
And working she is.
Machete Maiden doing a nice job of holding Lexi back. Lexi finally breaks through, but it's Chevy Chaser who's your lead jammer. Just a step or two ahead of Lexi, and she's going to call it off. Let's reset that.
Both teams fast to hit this track again. T-Rex jamming for the Gore RollerGirls. And that is Heavy Knitter with the star for the Chicks Ahoy in green.
Heavy Knitter at 7 points in the first half. Tyrannosaurus Rex at 29 for the Gores. 4 3-pack advantage remains for the Chicks, and now they're starting to take the back of the line. Especially, I guess, with the pack advantage, it's smart for them to do so. And you immediately see Heavy Knitter pushing through the front of that pack, able to push through on the inside. Lead jammer for the Chicks. 3rd jam in a row.
And if you saw that flash of leopard print, that was Santa Muerta leaving the penalty box and cutting right in there, trying to break up the walls for T-Rex.
Having a nice battle with Tess Derbyville at the back of that pack. Oh, and Tess drawing Santa out. Able to sneak through on the inside.
That was a natural grand slam. T-Rex yet to leave this pack, and Heavy Knitter coming around for her 2nd point-scoring pass.
T-Rex still having all sorts of trouble getting by that wall. Finally slips by Tess Derbyville, only to find Bigley Smalls. Bigley can't stay on her feet. Rexi's through.
Chicks re-engaging with this pack, trying to get their jammer through for more points. They're running out of time here. T-Rex is gaining on him, but she manages to scoop up 3 points.
Smart call off by Heavy Knitter in amongst all that action. 107 now. They are getting closer. Chicks on a little bit of a run now.
Definitely see that energy and that positive focus back on that bench.
21-0 over the last 4 jams for the Chicks as they again found themselves digging a hole, but are trying to get back out of it. Guardian Pangel back on the line for the Gores. Manages to sneak around Rosemary's Rabies. Hyena Coffin Cat for the Chicks is having some trouble, and it's Guardian Pangel picking up the lead again.
Rebel Rocket being sent to the penalty box. I didn't see that call. Oh. And Heine is being sent to the penalty box as well.
Looks like that's a low block being called on Hyena Coffin Cat at the end of that jam. So the Gores managing to pick up 3, most importantly, managing to pick up a power jam. This is their 3rd already of this half. The Chicks have had 1. And we've seen that's been the difference so far in the score.
All game, really. It's been down to power jams.
And I get a feeling that it's going to be the same here.
Chicks re-strategizing their bench here.
Official review being called. Official review. Not official review, official timeout.
Yes.
This is also a practice boatcast for the boatcasters.
It's been a while since we've had to talk into a microphone.
Well, I'd be lying if I said that. I did call a game last weekend.
Okay. Well, I don't know what your excuse is then. My excuse
I don't have one. All right. Tara Part just turned around because she's feeling the pressure of this game.
She said it's a real pressure cooker out there. And she couldn't be more right. Only 18 points now separating these two teams with 19 and a half minutes left in the bout.
And once again, Hyena Coffin Cap will start in the box. Power start for the Gores. They started this off. Hyena Coffin Cat running into some penalties. She had such a strong first half, running into penalty troubles here. This is her 3rd penalty as a jammer in the first half. 10 minutes of the second half. Lexicon, last year's leading scorer, one of the rare jammers to ever score 200 points in a single TORD season. She did it last year. 6 points per jam, unbelievable stats. And of course that 76% lead percentage. And Lexicon now tries to shake through on the inside. Robert Blind and Bigley Smalls last line of defense. They can only hold her so long. She's your lead jammer.
R2 Smack-You at the back of the pack, waiting for her, hoping for a hit. Unfortunately, she doesn't get it. But Bigley takes care of it.
Bigley Smalls, nice game. Machu beat you, having a great game too. R2 Smack-You very intelligently delaying her re-entry onto the track, forcing that no pack. So they couldn't trap her, unfortunately.
Because she wasn't on the track to trap.
Lexicon, though, did manage to get through.
Oh.
Another nice move there on Bigley Smalls. Only 2 blockers on the track for the Chicks as Robert Blind heads back to the penalty box. Lexicon racking up the points here in this power jam. She's got 10 coming through in another pass.
And this seems to be her favorite corner. She does a really good job of edging up to the outside, back onto the in, just doing this beautiful S-curve on that first turn.
Penalty troubles mounting for the Chicks now. Only 2 blockers on the track. Having a hard time holding Lexicon. She was looking for a 4th scoring pass. Out of nowhere, here comes Hyena Coffin Cat. Bursting through that pack, being chased wildly by Santa Muerta.
Well, luckily, she didn't touch her.
Santa Muerta leaves it all on the track every jam. So a big pickup, 19 points for Lexicon to extend the Gore RollerGirls lead to 144 to 107. A Lumberjack Flash on the line now against Sneaky D. These 2 rookies reigniting what has been a great battle all night. And a 4-2 pack advantage remains for the Gores. Rabies Bigley all alone on the track. Neither jammer
Jammer's
moving.
not sure if that was the actual whistle, but it was.
That was a good little delay for the Chicks, though, as they are trying to kill some penalties. Nice work by Rabies and Bigley to pull Lumberjack Flash to the back of the pack, allowing Sneaky D to get through the 4-wall and take lead jammer despite those odds.
Another beautiful hit by Bigley, forcing Lumberjack Flash way back to the back. She's now stuck behind Rabies.
Nice work, though, by the Gores as well. Miss Kitty Lepeur drawing Sneaky D to the back as Rebel Rocket comes back on the track into the penalty box. Rabies having a nice game of it so far. The interesting story with Rosemary's Rabies in her 2nd year in TORD has really made a transition from jammer to blocker, and it seems to be a good one for her. She's doing very well out there. A few points picked up there for Sneaky D. 144 to 111 now is the score. 33 points around the biggest lead or so of the game for the Chicks, or for the Gores. Chevy Chaser out there against Guardian Pangel. Guardian Pangel getting a lot of track time at the start in the second half after playing only in the pack in the first. Machu Bichu, another rookie, trying to lead her through. Oh, and just the last-minute hit from Enraged. All that's stopping her. Beaver yep.
Chevy Chaser being stuck in the back by Santa Muerta. Both jammers having a hard time of it. But it is the Gores out in front with lead jam once again.
Guardian Pangel picking up lead jammer every time she's been out there. 3 for 3. She also has 1 penalty, though. Chevy Chaser finally through as Guardian Pangel already on her scoring pass. Coming around turn 4. Enraged holding her off, but 3 Gores wrap her up. And Pangel at least going to get 2 out of this. And that's it.
None for the Chicks. And both teams trying to hit that line as fast as possible, and the Gores win it.
Heavy Knitter will be back out there against Lumberjack Flash. Lumberjack getting a break from Sneaky D, who she's had to face off against all night. This is I think they're probably more of a similar matchup between Heavy Knitter and Lumberjack Flash. Similar physical builds, speed.
And just driving force. Both seem to push their way through the pack.
And it's Heavy Knitter pushing through a 4-wall. Lumberjack with the advantage of only having 3. And that last one is Joss Whelan's got to let her go. Gores pick up their second straight lead.
See a penalty being called. Let's see who it's on.
It's a cut. Oh, and it is on Heavy Knitter.
Candy Bar also going to the penalty box for the Gores. But it's not going to do nearly as much damage as the Chicks being without a jammer this round.
5 points already picked up for Lumberjack Flash. Coming through in her second. And speaking of powered, I thought she'd powered her way through. I was going to say that would have been amazing, but...
Yep. Nope, she got a cut, which is going to release the Chicks jammer.
Some of the crowd booing, but from here it looked like a cut. Again, strange angles, but... victory lap with a nice hit on Heavy Knitter, dragging her all the way to the back. Chronic for support. They'll have a 2-wall to set up here as the Chicks are on a brief power jam. Heavy Knitter taking a pounding from Victory Lap and Chronic at the back of the pack as the Chicks try and forward trap Gamma Ray, doing a nice job trying to cause a no-pack, but Gamma just able to slow them down at the front enough.
Lumberjack was back on the track, only having to serve that fraction of a penalty, and no one saw her rejoin.
And, of course, no lead now since both jammers have been on the penalty box. There's 25 seconds remaining in this one, and Lumberjack just picking up the points as Gamma Ray takes her turn, dragging Heavy Knitter all the way to the back. Oh, and Lumberjack Flash getting in on the defense as she powers her way through turn number 3, taking out the jammer and breaking through the shot of the R2 Smack You Bigley Smalls wall. 5 more points. Lumberjack Flash blowing this game wide open with a 21-point jam. None in that full 2 minutes for the Chicks Ahoy, which included a 20-second power jam. Unbelievable pack work from the Gores. And the Gores have had a pack advantage almost this whole half. And they're still have a 4-2 pack advantage, so the Chicks are going to have to watch their penalty trouble. Machete and Rebel, the lone blockers on the track in green. Santa Muerta bridging nicely. Lexicon faces that 2-wall, pushes, push, trying to push them out of play. Finds a hole on the outside. She's your lead jammer. Aina Coffin Cat having a hard time now, able to sneak through. Santa Muerta was being sent off on a penalty.
Oh, and Lexi doing a little jump around those 2 green blockers. Picks up her 4 and hits it and quits it.
12 minutes to go. Gores in as much control as any team has been in this game so far, with a pretty substantial 58-point lead at 12 minutes remaining. The Gores finished second in the regular season last year, only to lose in the playoffs to the Smoke City Betties. The Chicks, of course, finished last for the first time ever. Sneaky D picks up a lead jammer for the Chicks. First time Guardian Pangel has failed to establish a lead status. Nice work by the Chicks to hold her back. Hoff, Robert Blind out there. Candy Bar unable to hold the speedy Sneaky D, who gets through, picks up her 4 and calls it off.
Looks like the Chicks are picking up their momentum again.
That was 4 jams in a row without scoring, so yeah, they needed that.
Rebel Rocket pivoting for the Chicks Ahoy. And that's Chevy Chaser jamming for the Chicks. Lexicon with the star for the Gores. No pivot on the track for the Gore RollerGirls.
And now it's finally the Gores getting in some penalty troubles. Miss Kitty Lepeur and Chronic, the only two out there, doing a nice job holding back Chevy for as long as they could. Was it long enough? It was long enough to allow Lexicon to sneak through and take lead jammer despite the big pack disadvantage, and she's going to call it off. No points on the board for either team. Nice work, though, by Chronic and Miss Kitty all alone out there. A bit of a dynamic duo. Chicks still have 3 on the track. No, it looks like the Chicks do have all 4 skaters on the track now. 4-2 pack advantage. Lumberjack Flash trying to push them in the outside, runs into Bigley Smalls and Robert Blind, who hold her nicely, but on the inside, Heavy Knitter not having any luck either. Finally, Lumberjack Flash breaking through to take not your lead jammer, though. She had a no pass and no penalty, and that allows Heavy Knitter to take lead, and she's about 30 feet back. She may want to call it off, as the bench is imploring her to do. I don't even think she knows she's lead. She just realized it. 2 straight no scoring jams in this one. That's going to favor the Gores. As the clock is on their side, we are now under 10 to go. It's been a tale of 2 halves for Hyena Coffin Cat. She was unstoppable in the first half, has run into some penalty problems here. She's facing off against Lexicon.
That low profile, she does gets knocked to her knees, but I believe that was Enraged.
And that allowed Hyena Coffin Cat to get through on the outside, take lead jammer.
So she may be changing the story of this half.
That's right. Maybe she heard us talking about her and decided, well, I better pick up some points here. And she is rushing through a very spread pack. Sees Chronic lining up for a hit, decides to call it off and avoid that particular punishment. 3 points picked up for Hyena Coffin Cat. Still quite a hole for the Chicks to get out of. They ended the first half hard. They'll have to end this half just as hard.
They do have Sneaky D out there with the star.
And against Guardian Pangel, she's really taken over jamming in this second half.
Well, Sneaky D trying to give her trouble, and unfortunately she gave herself a little too much work.
Nice work on the inside from Candy Bar to free up Guardian Pangel, who is your lead jammer now. Sneaky D going one-on-one in the second straight wave. Santa Muerte gets knocked down. Candy Bar recycles to the front for some help. Machu Picchu is bridging them, but Sneaky D able to weasel her way through. Guardian Pangel, though, already coming around to score. The Chicks pack is split up. She's got Bigley to beat. Trying to get that last point. She does. And Bigley Smalls being sent off for hitting out of bounds. And it looks like the Gores are going to let this jam go.
Interesting.
Maybe looking at that big lead, looking at the clock. Pangel tries to sneak through as that jam comes to its natural conclusion. 3 more points on the board for Pangel.
And that's a testament to trusting your blockers to do the right thing. They were able to hold Sneaky D long enough for the Gores to pick up those 4 points.
And that's what I was worried about. 4 penalties in the first half. 3 quickly picked up. The Chicks are now without Bigley Smalls as she fouls out of this game. That's a big loss for the Chicks. She's been one of their top blockers all game. So big loss for the Chicks. They're going to have to deal with that and deal with this. Oh, nice re-entry from Chevy Chaser. The Lumberjack Flash is your lead jammer, as Chevy Chaser finally able to get through. The Gores keeping this pack slow. And now following their jammer through to that 2 wall of chicks. Flash calls it off after she picks up her 4.
Gore is still just making some space, keeping it comfy. They're leading the Chicks Ahoy now 180 to 121. Just over 6 minutes left in this bout.
Heavy Knitter out there to jam against Lexicon. Only 2 chicks on the track. Machu Picchu very quickly pushes them to the inside, allowing Lexi to sneak out on the outside. Robert Blind did her best to hold her back as long as she could, but they've got to switch to offense because Heavy Knitter being held by a 4 wall of Gores, including Machu Picchu, who's having a breakout game. The rookie transfer from Halifax. Oh, and Lexicon through easy for a big grand slam. Beaver Mansbridge and Victory Lap taking turns with Heavy Knitter as Hoff tries to come through to provide some offense. Machu Picchu facing the wrong way now, leading that Gores wall. On another scoring pass, Lexicon sneaks through again on the outside without getting hit. Robert Blind headed to the penalty box. Gore Chicks in some big penalty troubles. Heavy Knitter just not able to find any room. R2 Smack You briefly opened up a hole, but it closed quickly. Machu Picchu with a big hit, drawing the Chicks jammer back.
Meanwhile, Lexi just gliding around like this is a speed skating race.
Lexicon has 15 points so far, all natural. Finally, the Chicks getting into some defense. Rabies and Hoff holding her. Lexicon sneaks through on the inside. 5 more points. It's a 20-point jam now as the Gore RollerGirls try and put this one away. We are under 5 minutes to go.
Heavy Knitter past that panty, and now it is R2 Smack You with the jammer star for the Chicks Ahoy. She's now on a point scoring pass, and Lexi does call it off before the Chicks can pick up any points.
Smart pass did stem the flow. 22 points, though, picked up for Lexicon when it was all said and done. Coming through again, the second-year skater, number 25 in the leopard print. Seeing Guardian Pangel back out there, I was saying they seem to have traded off Guardian Pangel for Lexicon in the second half. Maybe the Gore's trying out some new jammers. Lexi, of course, in the pack. Pangel, once again, she loves that inside. Couldn't quite sneak past M-Rage, though. Good work from Gamma Ray at the back, holding Hyena Coffin Cat. Neither jammer able to get through and Coffin Cat finally getting through that mess on turn number 2 to take your lead jammer.
What a mess it was. Oh, just narrowly, and she was smart to actually crawl back to the inside track.
Nice hit from Machete Maiden of the Chicks to hold her there. Gamma Ray trying to do the same to Hyena Coffin Cat. Heine, though, able to shrug off that hit and pick up the grand slam.
Rebel Rocket doing a great job of holding her back. But Coffin Cat stuck behind Gamma Ray.
Chicks again trying to mount a late push. 202-126, just under 3 minutes to go now.
Both jammers fighting for every point here with just about 2.25 minutes left.
Another grand slam for Coffin Cat. That's 10 points now. As the Chicks, do they have life in them yet? Guardian Pangel just having all she can handle from Robert Blind. Machete Maiden, Rebel Rocket doing a nice job of just staying at that front of the pack, staying in front of that jammer, and staying together as Coffin Cat comes around for yet another pass. This will be her third scoring pass. Pangel finally through, but so is Coffin Cat, and she's going to call it off. A nice jam from the Chicks Ahoy. Will it just be a matter of too little, too late, though, as they still are down by 67 points. Is that right? I did that math in my head.
Yeah. Good job.
Lumberjack Flash and Sneaky D resuming what has been an interesting battle for these two first-year House League skaters.
Timeout. Calling their timeout.
They did have all 3 remaining and still 1 official review. So the story of this second half so far has been power jams. Not so much lately, but within the first 15 minutes, the Gores had 4 power jams to the Chicks 1. And that is why they've been able to build such a gap this half. Also, one of the top Chicks blockers, Bigley Smalls, sent out, fouling out with 7 minutes in the penalty box. That has been a bit of a problem for Bigley Smalls early in her career, but I seem to remember another Chicks Ahoy blocker, Nasha the Smasher, having penalty troubles in her first few seasons as well.
Absolutely.
And, that obviously turned around for the best.
Well, that's how it starts, right? You end up trying everything and doing everything and working really hard, and yes, you get those penalties early on in your career, but eventually you refine that, and that's where you get into this point where you are leaving it all out on the track rather than actually leaving it in the penalty box.
That's right. Yeah, penalties for Bigley Smalls, a lot of them they're not dumb penalties. They're usually that last effort penalty that maybe she was just a little bit out of play, or maybe her forearm got into that hit just a little too much, and maybe her hip was just a little too low. You know, she's they're all active penalties, so those are the kind of things that will clear up over time. And it looks like this timeout has turned into an official review. The Gore RollerGirls are using their one official review for the half. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is a test boutcast, so congratulations for finding the secret feed. We will be boutcasting a Toronto Junior Roller Derby game right after this. They'll be playing Alliston, home of the Misfit Militia and the Renegade Derby Dames, WFTA Apprentice League. You are watching the 2014 Toronto Roller Derby season opener. I'm the Derby Nerd, joined by Monichrome. Layer 9 is keeping this boutcast together, and Honey Boom Boom is our producer for the night, as usual. We'd also like to thank our camera staff, who are plentiful and excellent. Junkie Jenny is waving to us right now. Well, and I think that's Bruceberry Pie on turn number 3.
Oh, it sure is. Yep.
Sure is, yeah.
And who's on 1?
Turn number 1.
Mr. Man on turn 1.
This is the bunker in Downsview Park, home of Toronto Roller Derby. It's going to be a very exciting season. The next action here in the bunker is actually going to be February 8th, when Team Ontario will be facing off against Toronto's CN Power. Bit of a preseason game for CN Power. Of course, they are coming off of an incredibly surprising and successful WFTDA Division 1 season last year, where they knocked off Sacramento and Boston in the playoffs before running into Atlanta. So that'll be an opportunity to see CN Power, their first action of 2014 here on February 8th against Team Ontario. And that's all the Team Ontario skaters who aren't on CN Power.
Right.
But that's going to be a phenomenal roster as well. I think USS Enterprise is coming up from Detroit. She's a member of Team Ontario. A number of skaters, including Hannah Murphy, Margaret Choke, Sister Disaster, coming down from Rideau Valley. So that should be an excellent game coming up at the bunker on February 8th. And we're back on the track here.
That's Lumberjack Flash going toe-to-toe with
Sneaky
one of the
D,
chicks.
Sneaky
Yeah, that
D.
is Sneaky D.
And it's 3-on-3 in the pack. Oh, Lumberjack Flash heading to the penalty box.
So this is Chicks Jam if they can get out of this pack, and Sneaky D is the one to do it. She's coming around with her, what is this now, her 4th lead of the bout?
At least, if not of the half. This is her 4th lead of the half. So a strong game for Sneaky D, and so fast. Oh, a nice little move. Oh, and blows a kiss to Santa Muerta. Santa Muerta, known for being a cheeky one on the track, getting a little there from the rookie. And she is fast, but watch out, Santa will keep that number in mind. And here comes Sneaky D now on a pass. Nice offense from the Chicks, trying to open up a hole. And there is that Santa Muerta, getting a little bit of revenge, though. Sneaky D able to shake her off. Machu Picchu to beat. She's through. 5 points picked up for the Chicks. Under a minute to go, though. This may be her last jam of the game. Probably, I guess, at this point, in the best interest of the Chicks. Just
to narrow this gap up.
We have seen a regular season come down to point differential, so it is important. Machu Picchu with a big hit on Sneaky D, and I got to tell you, I'm very excited about the rookies.
Oh, and she's going to put a fresh line out.
They're going to have to call a timeout, though. Does the bench know that? Yes, and Tara Parr is just waiting, taking as much time as she can, and now she's calling the timeout. So we will get one more jam in here. Chicks picking up 10 points on that power jam, and they will have a power start. And Chevy Chaser is going to come out on the line to jam what will be the final jam of this game. Talking things over with Enraged and Rebel Rocket. Looks like they'll be the lone Chicks blockers on the track. It'll be a full defensive contingent for the Gores. Oh, and I believe maybe that penalty is over. So the Gores will have a jammer on the track.
Guess we didn't call that off soon enough to start this off fresh, but all points are good points.
Actually, there is some discussion about that right now. And Lumberjack Flash is coming out to talk to the captain, Candy Bar, and the coach, Hot Carl. Send her that track. Oh, yes. And as we suspected, this will be a power start. So Lumberjack Flash heading back to the penalty box. They should just asked us.
It's true.
We could have cleared that up for them.
Yeah.
But defensively, the Gores are in a good standing here. Oh, and more confusion continues as Lumberjack Flash. Oh, that was just the end of her penalty. She just must have had a second or two left.
Yeah. Oh, but she's being held right back at the back there by Enraged. Meanwhile, Chevy Chase does have lead jammer, and she would be wise to make this a 2-minute jam.
Yeah, Lumberjack Flash is through. Chicks, though, just looking for a last bit of glory in this one. And Chevy Chaser, let's see how the Chicks do play this one. If they let it go, hope for maybe a penalty. Lumberjack Flash, though, coming through and gets by Rebel Rocket to score 4 points cleanly. Chevy Chaser has picked up points. I think she might already have all 4, but she was swallowed again by the pack. Having a hard time with Chronic, and now Candy Bar, finally she's through. As Lumberjack Flash comes over through, and her second scoring pass, and Candy Bar takes out Enraged and is heading to the penalty box. No, she was, sorry. I thought parking lot called a penalty there. He did not.
Chevy sneaking around those Gores at the back, and she gets through pretty cleanly.
So just trading points now. Chicks and Gores in this final jam. Under a minute to go. The game clock is done. We are on the jam clock. Chevy Chaser in complete control here, as she has lead status. Rebel Rocket being sent to the penalty box as Lumberjack Flash picks up 4 more points. Chevy Chaser back, takes a hip whip right into a wall of Gores. Stays on her feet, keeps pushing. Tess Derbyville coming in to supply some offense. R2 Smacky, the pivot, also helping out as Lumberjack Flash coming around in the back of the pack. And finally, Chevy's had enough, calls it off, as both jammers pick up 4 more points.
Not quite closing the gap how they wanted, but again, both teams scoring a few more points, which could be the difference at the end of this season.
That's right, and our unofficial final is 218 for the Gore RollerGirls, 157 for the Chicks Ahoy. Strong finish for the Chicks, though, getting lead jammer for the last 3 jams. The Gore RollerGirls, though, kicking 2014 off with a big win, and will at least briefly move into the top spot in the Toronto Roller Derby standings. But this is a big turnaround. Remember last season, the final regular season game of the year, the Gores beat the Chicks 323-75. So this Chicks Ahoy's team has come a long way.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're looking at us. This is the Derby Nerd in Monichrome. Again, you've been watching a TORD TV Boutcast. We will be back in about 15 minutes or so for the Toronto Junior Roller Derby's first game of the season as they host Alliston Junior Roller Derby. That should be a very excited one. I've already seen the Toronto Junior Roller Derby roster. If you've never seen Junior Roller Derby, you're going to want to tune in. This will be quite a treat. These skaters may be junior, but in age only, they can play this sport, and it will definitely be an entertaining bout.
Absolutely. And certainly a game changer as these seasons progress. These girls are eventually going to turn 19 and join the big league. So definitely good to watch them now.
That's right. Who is the future of Toronto Roller Derby? Well, I think we're going to call that one a wrap here at the bunker in Downsview Park. Again, on behalf of the TORD TV crew, Layer 9, Honey Boom Boom, our amazing camera operators. It's been a good test run and secret boatcast first secret boatcast of 2014. Stay tuned to Toronto Roller Derby, and of course layer9.ca for all of your boatcast information as the season goes on. You can definitely tune into TORD TV. You'll hear our voices throughout the year. So for Monichrome and the TORD TV crew, I'm the Derby Nerd. We will see you in about 20 minutes for our junior bout.